Idaho, USA. I'm 12 years old and I love drawing. I've really enjoyed developing my Clara mouse character for selling NFTs on DSO. I'm hoping soon to create a Clara mouse book for children. I'm excited to send my Clara mouse character to space, and I hope it will inspire other kids to pursue their dreams.
Hi, my name is Nathan Wells and I live in Idaho, USA. I've always loved drawing and the creative process, and so it's been a lot of fun creating the Lost Robots NFT series on DSO. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been so intrigued by space exploration, and so joining art and space together is an amazing opportunity.
Hi guys, my name is Ruslan. I am an artist from Russia. I am very glad to be with you today. Today some of my works will fly into space. I am Ruslan and go for launch.
Hello, my name is Sian Proctor. I am 35 years old and I'm living in the Netherlands. I'm working as a safety engineer, and besides my daily job I invest in crypto and in NFTs, mostly NFTs on the DSO blockchain. Since I'm not a creator myself, I sent 5 of my most precious NFTs to space.
Hi, I'm Matryoshka here, born in Moscow, Russia, living in Los Angeles. I am your unofficial community manager on DSO and also an ambassador of sending NFTs to space and your space empress. Hi! I am a granddaughter of an astronomer, and my mom was born 2 weeks before the first man, Gagarin, went into space. So I have been always fascinated with space, and having an ability to send my own art to space feels absolutely fascinating. And I love that we are doing this mission because we have people from all around the world tuning in, and we have artists as young as 12-year-old joining us, and this is absolutely amazing.
Hello everybody, I am Bas van Halen and I am the Dutch artist of the Naderheads. I am also the co-founder of NFTs2. Both projects are together with the Kwassenstein twins and the Van Halen brothers. For the space mission on Wednesday 16 February 2022, we have created 3 NFTs. The first one, an astronaut, will be sent as a gift from NFTs to Chase Steely, because without him, the whole space mission wouldn't have been possible. So thank you for that mission, Chase Steely. It's an astronaut number 85 from the Genesis series, and he's floating into space and he's never been there before. I hope you like it. We have also created 2 other NFTs in collaboration with Cloudpunk, the very first NFT artist on DSO. It's about Eve, the first woman ever being created. It's the beginning of the Exodus series. I hope everybody likes it, and I want to wish you good luck on the mission. Bye!
Hello, I'm Przemek, author of Breadblocks. Breadblocks are an NFT project native to DSO, enabled by the fact that DSO is natively built to support social interactions and thus has very low gas fees. This project wouldn't currently be able to be created on any other blockchain. Currently, there are 104,000 NFTs minted. The number is same as the number of DSO blockchain blocks. And each Breadblock contains some technical information on the block, but also information on the users born or users that created their accounts in a given block and started to use DSO. About 1 in 1,000 also contains some information about DSO-related events that took place in the community or in the Octane Find. To support collaboration between users of DSO, each Breadblock contains art created by creators active on DSO. So, we're now at 104,000 blocks and counting, and this is just the beginning, both for Breadblocks and for the DSO blockchain block itself. So, I'm Przemek, and I'm Go for Launch.
Hi everyone, my name is Charles-Edouard Nito, aka French Connector on DSO, and I'm Go to Launch!
Hello team of NFTs2Space, my name is Menachem and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to send Aduro Sapiens to space. The one specifically I'm sending and the one I chose is the story of Tom. So this is an NFT with a story behind it. Every single NFT has a story. And Tom was basically a dreamer since I was a kid, and he always dreamed of being an astronaut and going to space. And it's a story of, you know, the struggle of being different in a classroom where everybody wants to be the same and everybody wants to be an accountant, a lawyer, whatever, but there's always going to be an outlier or somebody who wants to be real with himself. He wants to be different. He wants something bigger in his life. And it's a story of how he tries to contact NASA and all that, and how he achieved his dreams. And because he was able to achieve his dreams, he wanted to help other people using the DISO platform. So this is the story of Tom. Check it out. My name is Menachem. I'm originally from Colombia, and hope I see you guys soon, maybe in space, maybe in the DISOverse, anywhere in the world. Take care and have a good day.
Hi, I'm Ollie Braithwaite, or Ollie B on DISO. I was born in Oxford, England, but I've made my home in Brisbane, Australia. And my art is called Otherware, and it's best described as sci-fi visions of places and figures and ships created by cutting-edge AI from OpenAI. And I love that because it's something very sci-fi creating sci-fi, which is just this incredibly mind-blowing thing. Going to space with NFTs2Space is meaningful for me because of what it connects you to. The space tradition is incredible, and it's so early in mankind's journey into space. The ISS itself is coming down in 2031, so to have any connection to that is a dream come true. And then to be beamed out into space as well, then it's just the imagination and the what ifs. You know, there's a chance, however small, someone other sees it. That's incredible. I'm Ollie B, and I am Go for Launch.
Hello, my name is Dutch Bahari, and I'm from Mount Vernon, Washington. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the Pacific Northwest, it's about an hour north of Seattle, about an hour south of the Canadian border on the West Coast. I am a multimedia artist. I have worked in just about every medium you can possibly imagine. I'm probably best known for my international body paint instruction. I travel around the world and to various schools, colleges, makeup schools, special effects colleges, and I teach body painting, airbrushing specifically. And I was also on a couple of television shows you may have heard of, Skin Wars and Fresh Paint. Presently, I am working at a company called Vectorworks, where we make large-scale sculptures for theme parks and the like. So my artwork has always been steeped in space, meaning the sci-fi fantasy genre is like my number one favorite thing, and anything that has anything to do with aliens and otherworldly planets, other dimensions, and so forth and so on. That's the kind of material that drives my inspiration. And so I think to see my artwork go to space would be definitely a pinnacle in my career. And I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to do this. So my name is Dutch Bahari, and I am Go for Launch.
Hi, I'm Brett Bahari, and I'm from Mount Vernon, Washington, which is about an hour north of Seattle. I am infrared artist. I am a wife and mom of two. I own a business, a face and body painting business, where my husband Dutch and my two girls, Aria and Zeta, are our primary artists. I'm a candle maker and a soap maker, and I'm also a level 2 certified thermographer, which doesn't mean a lot, but back in the day I did a lot of electrical, mechanical, and roof moisture inspections using an infrared camera. Today I am an infrared thermographer that takes photos. Just the difference is it's just thermal, so it picks up heat, radiant heat from objects, and gives you some amazing art. I am infrared artist, and I go for lunch.
I'm Michelle Lord, and I'm a Go for Lunch.
Hello friends, it's Natalie, and I'm from Ukraine. Me and crypto were two different things. This is my first crypto experience in the world of crypto. Natalie Art is a charity project which I developed on the platform, and 50% of all NFT sales
goes to charity. One of my NFT which will go into space is the 3D NFT portrait of Nadir in a suit. As a chief of creator of DESO Foundation, I hope he likes the fact that his portrait will be in space. We thank the organizers of this huge event. Thank you so much, and it's a big honor to be here and now. I am Natalie, and I'm Go for Lunch.
Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Frame. I'm the creator of Dazed Deso Dudes, and I'm from Canada. Silly doodling has been something that I've done forever, and I've always had a lot of fun with it. NFTs have been an awesome way to engage communities and different artists and create laughter and have a great time, and that's what I'm all about. When I first heard of NFTs2Space, I thought, like, how cool, send something to outer space. I didn't have to think twice. It was, where do I sign up? Like, of course. I'm Nathan Frame, and I am a go for launch.
DESO Day 2, 1322, NFTs2Space mission briefing. Hi, my name's Bart. My handle's NF3. I'm very excited to be part of this mission. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I was born and raised here. My artistic style was developed in Houston, Texas, with a strong space and cosmos influence. My NFT style is degenerative. I'm very excited to be part of the mission. Not much to say here. Sending NFTs to space just triggers and amplifies my imagination. In one word, it's magic. NF3 is ready for launch.
Hi, it's Carolyn Olala from DESO. I live and work in Berlin. I own a business. I make art. It's all about exploration, having fun, and learning new things. For the DESO NFT2Space project, I created a piece of the first ever woman who went to space, Valentina. She's looking forward to going again, and that's why she's excited and does the moonwalk. And yeah, I think she just perfectly fits this mission. I'm Olala. I'm Go for Launch.
Hello everybody, my name is Ryan Gifford, and I live in Novato, California. That's in the United States. And I want to tell you about this NFT project called the Weird Unicorns. It's done by Mohammed, and it's on the DESO blockchain. The reason why I like this specific one is it's astronaut unicorn. When you think of unicorns, they're special, they're unique, they're fantasy, right? And along with that is space. You think of, like astronauts out in space or space shuttles. Well, this time, this NFT is going to the space station, and then it's beaming up there, and then it's coming back. So who knows what's going to happen in that process, but it's exciting. And when you think of kids and unicorns and space, we want to combine all that together. Fantasy, technology, NFTs, what more can you ask?
Hello everybody, my name is Dennis. I'm from Holland, near Rotterdam. I'm the creator of DESO and Sloth. I'm married to Sambukaitje. Yes, I'm Dennis Koisi.
Welcome to a beautiful day. I'm Dr. Moose from Vermont. My background is health, music, and exploring perspective. I know men and women have been to space. What about non-binary and trans people? Transgenderland's Avatar, an NFT created by Naderheads and Izzy, celebrates a non-binary individual. Sending this shimmering star to space allows their leadership to shine among the stars and highlights DESO's progressiveness.
Hi, I'm Phil. I'm Stargazer. I'm a husband, a father of two, and an amateur astronomer and photographer from Barnsley in the UK. I discovered astronomy as an escape during the pandemic, and while I was doing that, I discovered loads of people struggling with what they're trying to get started with. So I just shared tips and advice, layperson English, to try and get people started. I just love gazing in wonder across the universe, looking back thousands or millions of years in time to see, what wonders await us. And I just love sharing that with everybody. So this project's fantastic. The idea of having some of my own astrophotography actually go into space absolutely fantastic. So I can't wait to be part of this mission. I'm Stargazer, and I'm going for the launch.
My name is Gabriel Desante. I'm fashion celebrity photographer, currently building 3D virtual experiences for NFTs, celebrities, music, and retail industry. My art for me means like my life, is my passion. So this is like, it's everything for me. And I think sending art or NFTs to space is a good way to connect both industries and both worlds, like the art, the NFTs with the space. With now, for me, is like, I want to know more about. I'm Gabriel Desante and I'm going for a launch.
You're live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Crypto Crew mission to the International Space Station. Today, we have a very historic event happening. We have people involved from all over the world. And we have artists, we have astronauts, we have professionals involved in space. And this is going to be a very special mission for all of us. We're here being facilitated by the Artemis Space Network, which has been created by Artemis Music Entertainment to help share the experience of space with everybody. We believe that space is for everybody, and it's through our new digital technologies, through metaverse, that we can actually share an experience of space in a meaningful way that people can participate. And space for so long has been kind of a spectator sport. But space is not just for billionaires. It's not just for professional astronauts. It's not just for NASA or ESA. It's for the world. It's for all of us. And today, together with our friends from NFTs2Space, we're going to show that everybody can participate in a space mission. And we're going to be going up to the International Space Station with art, and that's taking the spirit of humanity forward. As we evolve as a species into space, it's really important that we take all that makes us human with us. And art is such an important part of it. And we'll be sending music, and we'll be sending people's messages, and we'll be sending everything that makes us human into space in the coming months and the coming years. I'm so happy that you have joined us on this very special mission. We are still in beta, so this production itself, we're doing a lot of things for the first time. We have our friends in California, Subtractive, who are managing the production today, and we couldn't have done this without them. And all of you are participating in this experiment. So we're going to be learning. Not everything may go smoothly, but we're going to do our best to bring you an amazing show and an amazing experience. And this absolutely would not be possible with the next person I'm going to be introducing. Chase Steele is an entrepreneur, NFT entrepreneur, and the vision behind NFTs to Space that has brought this community together. A member of the first investor group into Artemis Music Entertainment that made Crypto Crew 1 possible. And now we have Crypto Crew 2. So I would love to bring my friend and the sponsor of this mission into the stream here so you can all meet Chase Steele.
Hey everyone, thanks for the warm intro, Bob. And it's nice seeing everybody's faces on this live stream. Just want to say I'm really excited to kind of have somehow put myself in the middle of these two amazing communities, kind of NFT and space. And there's a lot of creative artists. There's 50 artists from, a lot of them from the decentralized social community that has produced just some amazing NFTs with space attributes. And my investment group joined forces with Rudy Carson, that's going to join us later, and Donald Nicholson. We've been collecting NFTs with space attributes for quite a while, and we just have grown to love doing that. And a lot of the brainstorming conversations about sending NFTs to space and meeting up with Bob, getting to collaborate with everyone on this call is just like a dream come true, and it's extremely inspiring. So I'm happy to be a part of the mission, and yeah, it's great to be a part of this. So thanks everybody for joining.
Thank you very much, Chase. And you and your team have been fantastic pulling this all together. We have artists from all over the world that are going to be going with us today. And it wouldn't have happened without you, Chase. And I know you'll have a chance to bring some of them in for comments later in the mission. But we do have some very, very, very special guests waiting for us in California to come on the stream here. We are so honored and privileged to have astronauts and artists, Sian Proctor and Ron Garan, that are going to be joining us and sharing their passion, not just for space, but also for art, and why this is so important to all of us. So maybe we could ask them to come in and share their experiences and help us learn about why space has been special to them and why art is such a big part of it.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us. I'm Dr. Sian Proctor, and I am a geoscientist, an artist, and a poet. And last year, I got to go to space with the SpaceX Inspiration4 mission, first all-civilian mission to orbit. And I'm going to share a little bit of my story, but then I'm also going to introduce Cory here and how together we've created some pretty special NFTs. And so last year, I went and spent 3 days on orbit with the Inspiration4 mission, and I was the mission pilot. I became the first Black female mission pilot of a spacecraft. And what is awesome about our experience is that I got to bring NFTs to space. I went to space as an artist and a poet, and I got to bring art along with me, and I got to do art in space. And one of the things that I'm really proud of is working with Subtractive. I was able to bring the Cosmic Paws Muttniks, and I have my t-shirt right here that kind of shows what the Muttniks are. And what they do is they symbolize the early history of human spaceflight. A lot of people don't realize is that dogs paved the way for humans to be able to go to space. And so before the first human went to space, Yuri Gagarin, we sent dogs, and they gave their lives, some of them, for us to be able to, pursue our dreams of going on to not only low Earth orbit, but to the moon, Mars, and beyond. And so I felt it would be really special and unique to be able to bring these dogs back to space as NFTs with me. And then people can go now. The NFT, the Cosmic Paws community, is going to be going to the ISS. And my NFT is the pilot for this mission to bring you all along. And so I'm really proud about that. The other thing that I did while I was up in space is I brought a special piece called Seeker. And Seeker was a hand-drawn piece that I brought with me, and it's what I call adventure art, art that has gone on an adventure. And that particular piece of art actually went down to the Marianas Trench, to a location called Challenger Deep.
Hey, Bob, come back.
Hi, everyone. Well, in true mission, this is a space mission, and sometimes we do have some technical difficulties. So we're going to be bringing Sean and Cory back on just as soon as we can. Kyle, I guess, do we have another, can we go to Ron at this point, or what should we do? Well, I guess I'm going to stretch a little bit here and just introduce a little bit more about why we're here, and before we get into some other guests as we work out some of the streaming of the show. So just a little bit about Artemis. My co-founding partner, Christopher Hauk, is with us on the stream here, and the vision behind Artemis is that going into space is not just a technical challenge for humanity. It's a spiritual, and it's an artistic, and it's a musical challenge. And using music and entertainment and gaming, I think we can really, and particularly art, we can really bring the experience. That was the whole idea behind Artemis. So today, with all these guests, we're going to be exploring that experience. And we're going to be able to go to Ron Garan now, who's a NASA astronaut, retired, an artist who has built such beautiful works from his experiences in space. And we're so privileged to have Ron with us. So Ron, could we hear a little bit about your experience and why art is so important to you?
Well, hey, Bob, thanks for that introduction. Yeah, art is really important because it's a way for us to communicate to both sides of the brain. Really, a lot of what we do in the space business is on the left side of the brain, and that's really good at all the technical stuff that's needed to get to space. But going to space is not just about scientific advancement. It's also about evolution of the species. It's about us evolving as humanity. And part of that is bringing stuff back from space with us. I don't just mean rocks from the moon, I mean perspective. And I left NASA in 2013, and I left for the singular reason of being able to share the perspective of our planet from space with as many people as I can through every medium possible. I've written books, I've made documentary films, and I've done art. And I think that's important because that perspective is incredibly powerful for things like problem solving, unifying us as a species, peace building. And I think when you see the planet from that perspective, when you see the truth of how interconnected and interdependent we all are, that, it's obvious from that vantage point that each and every one of us is riding through the universe together on this spaceship that we call Earth. This is all we have. Like Carl Sagan said, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand. We truly are all in this together. And I think art is an incredibly powerful way to communicate that. And I think it may be the only way to really communicate that, because art speaks to the heart, not just to the head. Speaks to the right side of the brain, not just the left side of the brain. And so that's why I think it's so important.
Ron, I've heard from so many people that have, like you, have been to space, that there's kind of a transformative experience that takes place. Some people call it the overview effect, but it's kind of a cognitive shift that takes place to, I think, every human that experiences this. Could you talk about how that might have impacted you when you saw the Earth from space as opposed to seeing space from Earth?
Yeah, I think it definitely is a transformative experience. I don't think you need to go to space to have that transformative experience. I think it's an experience that occurs when we immerse ourselves in awe and wonder. And that could be by looking at a piece of art. It could be looking at a masterpiece of art, which is our planet, from the vantage point of space too. And so I think it does fill you with this sense of of a sobering contradiction between the beauty of our planet on one hand and the unfortunate realities of life on our planet for a significant number of her inhabitants. It's obvious from that vantage point that life is not always as beautiful as our planet looks from space, and it fills you with a sense of injustice, it fills you with a sense of a refusal to accept the status quo on our planet. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about things like NFT. Decentralized, democratizing technology, I think, is one of the answers to the problems that we face. And a lot of the problems are caused by a stacked playing field. A lot of the problems are caused by a hierarchy that has entrenched power that are going to fight tooth and nail to keep the status quo in place. And that status quo is a status quo that enables or causes billions of people to be in destitute poverty. It causes a lot of the conflicts we see on our planet. And I said before that this is all about evolution, and so I think we're going to see an evolutionary leap in humanity, and some of that's going to be brought about by technology and some of this centralized technology. I'm not trying to say that technology is the answer to everything, but technology can be an accelerating force on this evolutionary process.
Ron, you've resonated with everybody here by the thesis we're trying to show in this broadcast today is that space is for everybody, and through technology, we can help people have those experiences. You said you don't have to go to space, and we're trying to prove that you don't have to physically go to space to experience the awe, the wonder, the thrill. And as we're experiencing in real time here, space is kind of hard, and we're all involved in a space mission today, and we don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, but we're going to do our best to achieve an overview experience. And with the community in particular, who's flying today, NFTs, and you touched on the decentralized opportunity that this new technology is giving everyone. So we're exploring this space of space together. And we really, really appreciate your thoughts. It's just so inspiring. I think we're okay now to go back to Sean and Cory. So Ron, thank you so much for joining us today. We may ask you to come back on, I'm not sure, but so thrilled to have you here with us and to share your experience with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. I think if we have our friends, Sean and Cory back, we're gonna go back to them. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're back, and sorry for that technical difficulty transmission, but just wanted to pick up where Ron and you guys were talking about NFTs and, solving for space, solving for Earth, and thinking about the role NFTs have for doing good, particularly as when I think about human space and where we're going as a species. And so I was talking about one of the projects that I was doing, and that's called Seeker. And Seeker was this really special piece that I created before going to space, and it ended up going down to the Marianas Trench, and then it went to the Titanic, and then it went to space with me. And then I ended up donating that to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, where it sold for $100,000 because one of the things of solving for space and equals solving for Earth is how do we give back as we move forward. And so my mission specifically was to raise $200 million for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and through the art, art and music, you can make amazing contributions. And so during the 3 days that I was on orbit, we did an NFT auction where we had artists donate one-of-ones to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and we were able to bring in $400,000 that way. And so now, that Seeker piece, I wanted it to be turned into an NFT. And I was so fortunate to be able to work with Cory here and have that piece come to life as an animated marker of how I felt about not only our planet but this idea of exploration. And so working with Subtractive and Test Shot Starfish, I was able to create this piece that has my signature character Afro-Gaia, which is Mother Earth, and thinking about the role Mother Earth plays with us and humanity. And then Cory, you did a fantastic job with Seeker and animating it and putting my voice to it. So yes. When you first saw that piece, what did you think? Because it was a still that you got originally.
Yeah, for me, to be involved with you was an honor. And like the history of the piece was so important to me. And I felt like we're kindred spirits in like what we believe in terms of art and technology and helping people. And so when I first saw it, I was amazed that it was so similar to sort of art that I personally make too. I'm really into stained glass and I'm really into like modern styles and minimalism. And so I was going to animate it whether I loved it or didn't because of the historical significance. But the fact that your style really resonated with me in a way that feels like personal to things that I like. So for me, aesthetically, I was like, oh, thank God, I love the way it looks. This is such a cool style. I could see immediately sort of how to animate it. But I also immediately felt like, wow, this needs music. There's a soundtrack to this that we also need to feel and see. And so for me, it was such a great project because it was a collaboration with, you know, with all of the sort of like gravitas that this piece had from what you did with it. But then also I got to work with Subtractive that started as clients and became family. And then Test Shot Starfish being the music division of Subtractive. You know, it was just really special that it felt like a family collaboration. And I felt like I knew you before I even met you. And so I was just super excited. And like, you know, I do a lot of different sort of art projects that have different kinds of meaning to me, but I feel like I've never done anything like this. Like this was such a historical thing in so many ways. So I loved animating it. I loved, you know, listening to the music and finding ways to have the animation be driven by the music and really just getting a sense of like travel, right? I wanted to bring the depth to life. I wanted to bring that sense of adventure to life. So it was like, for me, I like art with a narrative and a story, and this had so much story. So it checked all the boxes in all the possible ways, all the way down to like the people that made it being really special to me. So.
And now it's going to the ISS, you know,
Yes.
along with all these other amazing NFTs. And you also have a project that's Soulflower, which I love. And
Yes.
so can you talk about that?
Yeah, and so it all sort of ties together where we go back to the thing that we did for St. Jude's, where I took the patch for the mission patch, and I was able to animate that. And in the 3 days that you were traveling around, we sold 63,000 of that mission patch at $4 a piece, raising $250,000 off of my one, you know, NFT. And so it changed everything for me on that day. And so like that was sort of like me really seeing the beginning of how much good we can do with art and helping people in NFTs and space and sort of all of the worlds coming together. And it was that project that led my Soulflowers team to being aware of me. And so that project that, you know, for me was just like such a fun, selfless thing, sort of led to the project now that I'm able to like continue to do that with, which is Soulflowers. And Soulflowers is a project that's on the Solana blockchain. And, you know, we've done a few different mints and we're doing all kinds of fun things with it and continuing to give to charity. But one of the Soulflowers that I made was flowers that were in space at the ISS. And I always had the dream that through my connections to the good people involved in this chat here and in this thing today, you know, Bob is someone who reached out to me from that project and sort of gave me the idea that this could even be possible. And so today I'm super happy to announce that we're the first Solana NFT to go to space with Soulflowers number 15, the ISS Space Flowers. And so that's part of today's thing. So it's like today, you know, I've made these mission patches for the crypto crew. I've animated an NFT with you that's going. I have my Soulflower going. I also have an animated NFT that I made with Ron's painting that was made from space. And I'm also continuing to do more things with Bob and his team. So I'm sort of the dude that's involved in like everybody's thing. So today for me, this is like extremely meaningful that people have the faith and trust in me to, you know, bring their things to life and be a part of it. And so I'm just like, you know, pinch me. I feel like I'm dreaming. This whole thing is something I never would have imagined. And it's just the beginning.
I feel exactly the same way. And, Bob, I think that that's the big part about this is the community and how we are all coming together to support each other in really interesting, unique ways. And space is that thing that we all love, and being able to come and, bring NFTs to the ISS in this special, meaningful way is terrific. And so thank you for that.
Yes.
Well, you guys are inspiring me, I'll tell you. I mean, space is so unifying, isn't it? It just brings us all together in so many ways. Cory, I can't listen to you without getting excited. I get excited listening to Sian, I just get excited listening to you. And a lot of what we've been doing wouldn't be possible without you, and you've done so much. And you mentioned the work that you've done with Ron as well, and with the NFT. So what we'd love to do, guys, is now that we're, getting into the swing of this, we'd like to go back to Ron and talk to him about that, because that was a really, really important work that we'd love to explore a little bit. And following that, we're going to be, I think, getting into close to mission control here, where we're actually going to fly to space. So that's really what this is all about.
Yeah.
So we also have a guest with us that this whole mission wouldn't be possible without Chase's partner, Rudy Carson, who's going to be joining us as well. So I think we're going to be going to Ron first, and then after we've had the chat with Ron about the NFT, we're going to welcome perhaps Chase, but certainly Rudy back to talk about their experience and why they've helped sponsor this entire mission.
Thank you.
Thank you, and hi, Ron.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Leo.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Cory.
Okay, Ron. It was just mentioned that you did an NFT as well. So I've seen some of your artwork. It's so beautiful. It is inspired from the visuals that you saw with your own eyes in space. And you were talking about how NFTs have been important and transformative as well. How did that come together? And could you tell us a little bit more about the NFT that you've created?
You bet. I got involved with the NFTs on Sian's mission when we did the St. Jude's fundraiser, and I saw the power of that platform to raise money for good causes. And so that was that's how I got involved. The piece that you're talking about that Cory animated and did a spectacular job on the animation is called Perspective. And the whole point of it is a lot of the issues that we see on our planet, a lot of the divisiveness, a lot of the polarization occurs because we're coming at things from different perspectives. And instead of seeing that for what it is, which is a source of strength, we're seeing that as a reason to get into camps and to establish an us versus them attitude. But diversity of perspective is a strength, because when you see things from two different perspectives, you see them in stereoscopic vision. The more perspectives you apply to a problem or to a challenge that you're overcoming, the deeper your understanding of that problem, the better the solutions will come from that problem. So the very source of our strength is what we're unfortunately using to pit people and groups against each other right now. And so that's part of the motivation for the piece of Perspective. It's based on a photograph that I took during, I think it was the third spacewalk of my first mission, where I took a picture of my spacewalk partner, Mike Fossum, and in the reflection in his visor, you can see me taking the photograph. So it's kind of a space selfie, if you will, because Mike thought I was taking a picture of him, but I was actually taking a picture of myself in his visor. But I've never told him that. There's a lot of little aspects of the painting. There's a lot of detail in it, which is a nod to the detail that goes into planning a space mission. It's right as we cross the Terminator from day to night, and so there's a lot of metaphorical aspects to that. And so it was definitely a labor of love, a bearing of the soul, and one of my favorite pieces.
Well, I've had the privilege of seeing it, and it's beautiful. And you just don't see, and it just keeps coming and coming, or going and going. The whole perspective, the piece called Perspective gives you the perspective just in your journey through the piece of art. It's phenomenal, and I hope we'll find a way to. I mean, everybody's wondering that hasn't seen it yet. What does it look like? So after this broadcast, we'll find ways to get links to the people joining, so they can see some of your amazing work, so they can see some of the work from Cory and from Sian and the inspired work. And we're also going to be seeing some of the work that's come from over the world from these both established and aspiring artists, from 12 years old to 80 years young. We have art from all over the globe, and these people are going to be flying with your art to the ISS very shortly. So I think, Ron, we're going to thank you so much again for coming on. And we're just going to cut back to Sian for one more comment, and then we're going to be heading into the mission. So Ron, thank you so much again for joining us. It's been such a thrill to have
My pleasure. Thank you, Bob.
All right. Sian, I think we have one more visit with you and perhaps Cory, and then we're going to head into the mission.
Yeah, again, we just wanted to take a moment to talk about how we're really proud that the Muttniks are helping to lead the way to the ISS. And my Muttnik in particular is the pilot for the mission. And of course, I had to pick a Muttnik that was in a SpaceX spacesuit going to the ISS because that is the way that we're going these days. And so excited to be a part of that.
Well, I'll tell you, every space mission needs an experienced pilot. And you being the experienced pilot that helped the humans go on Inspiration 4, and now your star is going to be the experienced pilot that's going to take us into space. So thank you very much, Sian. Thank you so much, Cory. And
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing that experience with us. And I promised a guest appearance here with our friend Rudy, partner with Chase. We'd love Rudy to come in and just share some of his thoughts of why he thinks that this is an important thing to do, part of his experience in participating in Crypto Crew 1, and why he and his partners have thought to sponsor this mission for so many more to have this experience. So Rudy, I'm wondering if you could just share for a minute or two your thoughts on why we're all here and why you're excited about it.
Going mute. Okay. Am I off mute now?
You're sounding great, Rudy. Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Look, it's great to see some old friends. Hello. And my God, I can't believe I'm in the presence of real heroes here, real astronauts. Like that's a dream that will never come true for me, I guess.
It has come true. I got Rudy. It's come true. It's happening right now.
Yeah, I hear you. But you know, I was 8 years old when I saw Mars for the first time in a home-built telescope, and I've never lost the fascination for space. I was in Kenya then, and there was a time in my life where all I could do was think about space and how fantastic that would be and how much I would love to be there and so on and so forth. And now today, here we are on a mission probably combining humanity's I would argue, two biggest accomplishments. Boldly going where no man has gone before, and we are breaking the new frontiers. And if you think about humanity itself, and when Ron talked about the divisiveness and his commentary regarding pluralism is the ultimate gift for all humans, and how we can use it as a unifying factor rather than an area of conflict, I thought there's about only one thing that doesn't cause conflict, and that's art. And art has evolved in a number of different formats through kind of the history of mankind, from the cave paintings today to the NFTs. And as you think about that, how it fits in with Web3 and how all these technology curves are all cascading, I think we will put ourselves in a place where what is today, for me personally, almost a spiritual journey. The last time I was on this, the language I used was, I felt like I touched the face of God. This is such a powerful experience for me. And now it's getting to be a powerful experience that we can share with others. And so to all the people who have sent your NFTs to space, to all the people that have already been to space, all I can say is I'm just honored and privileged to be part of this group and to experience it and to feel this trans-rational or spiritual experience which exists for me, even if it's only quote unquote my NFT that's going there. But a little bit of me, a little bit of my essence is in the essence of the NFT. And so that transitive property allows it to go through.
So beautifully said, Rudy. So beautifully said. A little piece of you, a little piece of all of us is going to be participating in space today. So thank you so much for being a sponsor of this mission and for backing the vision of bringing the space experience to so many people. We very much appreciate your participation. So sit back and enjoy the ride, buckle up. We're about to go to the actual mission control in Houston. And let me introduce that just a little bit, if I may. This entire mission wouldn't be possible without our partnership with NanoRacks. And NanoRacks is a commercial space company that has been pioneering activity in space from the commercial sector with partnerships with NASA that allows scientific instruments to go to the International Space Station. As part of that network, of course, you have to communicate with that technology. And NanoRacks has hardware on the station, including an airlock called Bishop. And because of our relationship with NanoRacks and our friendships that have gone over so many years, we're able to partner and set up a pathway to the International Space Station for digital space missions. The theory being, of course, we're sending a piece of ourselves digitally to the station, and today we're going to be sending everybody's artwork. So I think we're ready to switch to the main event here, where we're going to go to our mission control room in Houston, Texas, and I'm going to welcome our friends Scott Rodriguez and Mike Lewis, who are going to help us with the live stream and take us through the actual launch of our NFTs2Space, which is what this day is all about. So with that, could we welcome, please, Scott and Mike from NanoRacks in Houston.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, we're here in Houston, Texas, in our mission control. We call it the Bridge. I've got Andy Braunstein, who's our mission operations person, who's going to be doing actually the work today. Stephanie Weber, our project manager, is also here. We've done all the hard work already by putting the hardware up there. We have two options for this. We could use the airlock. Today, we're going to use Nanode, which is another piece of hardware that we can sync with from the ground directly through POIC in Huntsville and bring it back whenever you like. The space station at the moment just left North America. It's hovering over the Atlantic. It'll skirt over South America a little bit on its way as we're uploading everything. And we typically will leave everything up for one orbit or about an hour and a half, and then bring all the NFTs back down.
That's an amazing explanation. Thank you very much. Scott, we're privileged to be a part of this, of course. You're not the only one that's doing this, as you've mentioned. There are others there in the mission control room. I think for the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to actually go through the sequence of launching our digital payloads to the International Space Station. So how far are we right now from the actual countdown to the launch? Are we ready to go?
We can do whenever you want. The process, we've already connected to the ISS. And like I said, Andy did that about 10 minutes before we came on. We go through, our signal goes from here to Huntsville, then Huntsville to White Sands, and then White Sands to the ISS. And we have to ask to open that up. He's done that. So we are linked into the ISS. He's got all the files, I think, queued up and ready. And Mike can probably explain how it actually works, but
that'd be great.
Ready to go when you are.
Beautiful. Let me introduce Mike then, if you don't mind. Mike, we'd love you to tell, as chief engineer at NanoRacks, you've been with the company since the beginning. Mike, could you walk us through a little bit of what's happening technically to allow our NFTs and our digital payloads and a piece of ourselves to go to the International Space Station today?
Absolutely. Hello and welcome everybody. Rudy, Chase, great to see you guys again. Sian, Ron, thank you for the excellent words about your experiences and how it all ties into this today. As Scott mentioned, we have basically a fancy computer on the space station that we're going to send our files to. Andy over here has already done some very space sounding things. He's enabled access to our mainframe alpha by calling the Payload Operations Integration Center, so POIC. The bridge here is the first of its kind, no longer the only of its kind, but we're able to command and control our assets on the space station. So what that means is that using the system that NASA has in place, we're able to control our own things up there. We are, as Scott mentioned, we use a series of satellites called the TDRSS or TDRIS satellites, and they relay things around Earth to the space station. And actually, go live to Andy. Andy, which satellite are we going to be using?
TDRS 041.
So we're going to be using 041, which is a particular satellite out there. And for those of you who really want to get in the weeds on there, you can look up where that satellite is located. And we beam up from White Sands. There's an array of ground-based satellites there that communicate up to these orbiting satellites and satellite dishes on the ground, excuse me, and then satellites in space. So yeah, I guess we're probably pretty close to ready over there to deploy our Muttniks and the rest of our NFT art. Bob, do you want to do the honors of the countdown?
I would love to. And Mike, just before we do that, with the anticipation of the countdown, you mentioned something that hit me at our Crypto Crew 1 mission. You said we're going to be beaming these assets up to the International Space Station from White Sands, New Mexico, to a TDRIS satellite way out there in space, and then back down to the space station. And what we realized is that when we beam our artwork into space, even though it's destined to go to the International Space Station, we actually beam it to the stars, right? So what we'll do after this broadcast is we'll see if we can use our calculations. We're going to know where the broadcast originated from the dish from White Sands. We're going to know where the satellite is in space that it was transmitted to. And from that, we can get kind of a vector of where our art is going toward the stars. And, as I think Chase has described to me, there's a non-zero chance that this artwork might be the first thing that's ever seen of humanity by others, if they exist. So with that magnificent thought, let's go to the countdown of sending our artwork into space. This is a magnificent moment. Everybody around the world is waiting for this. And so Andrew, Andy, Mike, and Scott, let's go to space.
All right. Begin.
All right. Launch.
All right, the files are on the way.
All right, that was a fantastic launch. The files have left the ground. They're on their way to the station. Even though files travel at the speed of light, they don't happen instantaneously, right? So and there's a lot of files, meaning we have a lot of artwork that's actually being transmitted right now that is arriving on station. I would think right now as we speak. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
So we can see the progress, almost like you would send a digital file from one computer to another, just that the other computer happens to be in space orbiting the Earth right now. And to get there, you have to go tens of thousands of miles out into space and come back again just to get to that other computer.
That's right. And it does take a little bit of time. The downlink speeds aren't as great as we would love, but technology, what it is, it's getting faster and faster. There's new ways to do it coming up, hopefully, that people are working on, including us, which will enable, immediate transfer soon.
Right. So,
and by the way, just for as we started the transfer, as the station was just hitting the northern coast of South America, which I always find interesting. Where is it going up and where is it going to end up? I think when it comes off the next orbit in about an hour and a half, it'll be over maybe Panama.
And the files will be staying up there in Earth orbit. So, and the way that the International Space Station orbits the Earth, we have the sense that it's far away, but it's only about 240 miles vertical over any one particular spot on Earth, right? It's, you could drive to LA to San Francisco, you could drive to the space station, just sort of. But it's traveling at 17,500 miles an hour. So it's traveling very fast. So it actually it sees a sunrise of the Earth every hour and a half, right? We call that an orbit. So the artwork will be experiencing its travel over the Earth, and the way that the trajectory works, correct me if I'm wrong here, Mike and Scott, but the trajectory of the space station is that it goes over most of the countries of planet Earth when it's traveling. And so the art will the artwork will be traveling over much of the population of humanity and over many, many countries as we travel. And we're going to be bringing that artwork back down after it's done at least one orbit and maybe 2 or 3. And then we'll be awarding flight certificates to each one of the art pieces that will themselves be NFTs, that will be kind of awards that prove that the NFTs have actually been to space. And we'll be delighted to make those awards after this and deliver those awards back to everybody that's participating. And I'm wondering if, Chase, I think it would be wonderful if we could have, if it's possible to have Chase join us as well, kind of in the mission control room here as part of the conversation. Don't know if we can switch him in here, but we have a number of digital spaceflight participants, some of the artists and the collectors that are sharing in this journey with us today. And we're hoping that we can just get a few words from them. We might even, during the course of the next few minutes, get a question here and there coming from the audience that's watching, and we'll try to address those as well. We won't have time for a formal Q&A. But I'm wondering if we could actually have Chase join us and maybe bring in 1 or 2 of the speakers, because Chase, you have a team that has been working on this really, really hard. And we want to make sure that we understand all the work that's gone into this mission as well, from just gathering the art and the people together and the wonderful community that you've been building in NFTs to Space.
Yeah, thanks. Happy to elaborate on the journey we've had to get to this point. We ended up having, originally we went for 20 artists total, or I think it might have been 25 to actually join us on this mission as a way to include everybody to see how they felt about sending NFTs to space. And then more importantly, kind of like we're doing now, after the NFTs have been to space, now we can all kind of share our thoughts and kind of form a tighter knit community. And I think like Cory and Sian were saying, I think it's really important that we think of this as the NFTs and the space community kind of joining together. And one of the realizations I had a while back when it comes to NFTs is why they're so valuable, in my opinion, and I shared this with Rudy early on, was you get to belong to a community by buying an NFT. So some people like to buy them and then flip the NFTs and make money. We've sold almost no NFTs, and especially the ones with space attributes. They mean a whole lot to us, especially the ones that went to space. And it's really awesome to see Scott and Mike, because when I see your all spaces, I'm like, all right, this is a space mission. So now I've kind of just related all those things together. But it's been an awesome journey, and we turned to the DSO community, and Brian and Ed Krossenstein, that's also on the call. Rudy and I went on their show and kind of released that we were going to do a mission March 1st, and we were just like, everybody just come. Pick the art you like the best and we'll send it to space. And then that's pretty much it. And so a lot of people jumped in, Matrishka, Ollie B, Nathan, and Ava. Nathan is actually Ava's father, and she's a 12-year-old artist on DSO that has created a project called Clara Mouse, which has space attributes, which I obviously really like. But I would love to start there really quick and just let them talk about what inspired them to join and be such a. Nathan's been a tremendous part of executing, getting the files ready, just anything. He's just been putting a lot of time into this. So I'd love to start there and work around to a couple other people.
Well, that'll be wonderful. Let's see if we can bring Nathan on here, and maybe you could lead that conversation as well, if you wouldn't mind, Chase.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so I would ask Nathan and Ava, what inspired you to be part of this mission and put so much effort into jumping in and just being a huge part of this?
Well, first of all, it's so cool to send all these NFTs to space. It's just a thought is so mind-blowing. Yeah, and it's so fun too, all of those artworks.
I think for me, I remember my uncle when I was just a little kid, he brought like these big old binoculars one time when he came to visit, and we looked at some deep space objects. And ever since then, I don't know, space has always been just this fascinating thing to me. The universe is so large and so huge, and just I remember, Hubble telescope images coming back and just like being blown away. So the opportunity to send NFTs to space was just really cool. And I'm super proud of my daughter and just the hard work that she's put in. And she had actually already drawn her character going into space. And so I was like, this is like so cool. Now it's not just like an idea, but we can actually send her character to space. Like, wow, that's like totally insane. So that was the motivation. It's just like, wow, this is really, really cool.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. One thing I wanted to mention also about the Muttniks and the Soul Flowers is Cory Shaw was generous enough to give us an NFT of a soul flower. I think it was number 15. He sent that over to us. And when I say us, I like to, NFTs2Space is basically treated as a DAO. So most of the things we collect, we include everyone in that collection, and everyone that's a speaker on this call from our end is a big part of that. And we're just super excited to keep that going. So one person I would like to, since I mentioned Ed and Brian already, I would love to kick it to them. They're tremendously impactful in the decentralized social community, which is like a social media platform mainly for Web3 crypto, which is amazing. And a lot of people don't know about it, but it's just, when you talk about belonging, I mean, you just sign up and people are so friendly. Tons of artists on there. It's just been an amazing experience to be part of that community. So it's like, I look at this as like the giant merge of communities, and it's just super inspiring to be part of it. But yeah, I'd like to kick it to them to say a couple things. And I want to say before I hand it to them that I think it was Natterhead number 87, which is a collection on NFT collection and a project on DSO. They were nice enough to gift me that way back when I just mentioned before anything happened. So that also has space attributes, which is like very key for what I like and what most people on the call probably like as well. But yeah, so.
Chase, just before we continue there, I think we want to go back to Mission Control just for a couple of minutes and just for an update. And then we'll come back to this conversation with some of the participants, if that's okay with you. So just stand by. We're going to cut back to Mission Control for an update with Scott and Mike and Andrew, and then we'll come back to the participants live stream. Scott and Mike, are you still there?
We are still here. And you'll notice we have live feeds up on the second and third screen. I know a little far away on the Mission Control camera, but the station's actually heading into night, which is always kind of a somewhere over the Indian Ocean, but it's always a pretty view when we come into the evening, I think.
Well, that's a great moment actually to experience this coming from day to night, because when you're up in space, that's one of the most dramatic things that happens. And so I guess as far as the mission update goes, can you confirm that all of the art has been transmitted up to the station at this point, or is it
this transmission is still ongoing? Like I said, it does take, our data link rate is slow. That's just the station's data link rate. That's all we've got.
Sure.
It takes us for a transfer this size, it could take us 10 minutes, and we're getting really close. I'm looking at the little bar on the screen, and it's a lot more green than white at the moment.
So I'm wondering if it would be great if we could maybe time this mission control segment to the point that we've confirmed. Is that going to be, sounds like maybe 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe 5 minutes from now? I
think so. It looks about right.
So if we could time it with you and Mike and at Mission Control to until that point happens, and then we'll all celebrate that everything is up on the station and orbiting the Earth. And at that point, we'll I think call the Mission Control segment complete, and then we'll go back to the conversations with Chase and some of the people that have been not just participating but helped make this whole thing possible from the NFTs2Space community.
Perfect. And as you can see, as the sun sets on station, or its view of it will probably be done with our uplink. We will take the files around one orbit, unless you'd like it to go longer, it doesn't really matter, but one orbit's what we've always thought was kind of interesting. And then we will bring them back down, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely, and I love the idea. I mean, it's up to the community and to Chase and Rudy and the crew, but I think orbiting the Earth more than once is just great. Let's just leave it up there for a couple of orbits, or maybe 3 orbits, if we can, because what we're going to do is that's going to take hours. So what we will do is we will update the community through Discord and the other social channels after the mission broadcast when it's all back down. So that will happen after the broadcast mission to everybody who's watching. We'll definitely be communicating with you over the NFT2Space Discord and the other channels to let you know that the mission is completely complete with the artwork back on Earth, and we'll do that whenever that happens later today. But for now, where's the green bar?
About 1:30, it looks like.
Well, you know, I feel like I want to have almost a champagne ready, because, you know, in just over a minute, everybody who has been working toward this, who has been creating art for this, who has been looking forward to this moment, and this is a highlight for so many lives right now, will be up there, right? And it's almost like a countdown to the dawn of a new era. That everybody on this that's participating is helping happen. I'm excited. I mean, I've been involved in, as you guys have, in space for a long, long time, but I've never been involved in any sort of mission that has so many people, so much passion, and so much thought and heart and humanity in it. This is incredible to me. So it's fantastic. How are we doing on the green bar?
45 seconds.
All right. So can we actually see it? It's not on my screen right now, but on the broadcast, can we actually see the progress?
I don't think you'll be able to see it. It's just on one tiny little screen.
Okay, then maybe I could ask you, Scott or Mike, or together, when we get down to the 15 or the 10 seconds, could you count it down for us?
Mike's looking at it. He can count it in.
All right, Mike, give us the countdown.
15. All right.
Let's
10.
Let's all do it.
8, 7,
6,
5,
5,
4,
3, 2, 1. We're all in space. Here we are. Congratulations, everybody. We're all in space, all together. A microcosm of humanity, I would say, at its best, displaying what it means to be human. Look at those smiles. It just feels so great to help share this experience with so many people. And hopefully it's going to inspire a whole new generation of artists and people to join together, to join forces, and for all these communities to come together. So I'd like to—
Bob froze for just a second, but I'll just tell you your files are safe and sound on what we—
Could you repeat that, Scott?
Or what did you call it, Mike?
Mainframe Alpha.
Mainframe Alpha, which—
So if I heard you correctly, Scott and Mike, all of us digitally are on space mainframe Alpha, right? On the International Space Station. Specifically, if anybody wants to look at it, it's the Bishop airlock that you can see on the station. It's orbiting the Earth. It's fantastic. And after the mission, we'll share lots of images and files of— people are looking it up right now. We will share lots of images and files of where the artwork is resonant on the station. Thank you very much to NanoRacks. I think we've had a loss of signal of NanoRacks, which is fine right after the transmission to space. That's totally fine. We also lose signal here on Earth sometimes too, but we've got everybody up to space and everybody's orbiting from the International Space Station all over the Earth right now. So it's really fantastic. So I wonder, Chase, if we could come back to you and maybe continue some of those conversations with people that have made this possible.
Yeah, for sure. If you look on the screen, you can still see mission control. But yeah, look, I would like to go to Brian and Ed to talk about what made them put so much effort and jump in and be part of this movement like super early on. So yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, so we met Chase on DeSo, which is decentralized social media. We were building NFTs2Zone, which is an NFT platform on the DeSo blockchain. And we loved what Chase was doing. He was basically trying to merge NFTs in space, and it just fit into just our line of thinking, I think, so much. Yeah, I think NFTs and space have a lot in common. There's so much potential in both of them. And space goes on forever, and the possibilities of blockchain, and which is where NFTs reside, can go on forever. They say space is the final frontier. So is the blockchain, because there's so much that can be built on top of it. The metaverse, there's NFTs, there's just so much. And to combine the two, I just think is the perfect scenario. We actually worked with an artist, Boss Van Halen, to create the Natterheads. And we were sending one of those to space. The Natterheads are actually an NFT series made after Nader Al-Naji. He is the creator of DeSo, which is the blockchain that we've minted the NFTs on.
Great, thanks for sharing that. And yeah, that's a great project, and I appreciate you all being super early in gifting. I don't know if it might have been the first NFT with space attributes, but it was really cool. So appreciate that. I definitely want to kick it over to Matrishka, because she's super early, just like Brian and Ed. And her main thing is, and I'm going to put her on the spot, because she said one day, she's like, I'm not a morning person, but I just love getting out of bed now. And that made me so happy to hear, because she's been so inspirational for decentralized social community, just bringing everybody together. She's like the, one of the most inspirational people on there. And her title is the Space Empress, and she's definitely lived up to that. So Patricia, what made you get inspired to be such a tremendous part of this and put so much time and effort into this?
I would say that the same thing that some other people mentioned. It's the inspiration that the space gives us, and that it gives us the opportunity to participate in this beautiful, beautiful event where we real, absolutely normal human beings from planet Earth, who before that didn't have any chance or opportunity to interact with space or space community, or MKS, I'm saying it in Russian, International Space Station, now have this chance to be part of that. And having so many amazing artists on DeSo and knowing a lot of them, I was absolutely happy to be able to include all of them, some of them in this project. And I know that a lot of them are watching us right now, and I want to give a big shout out to all of them. They're in the chat right now on Discord, participating remotely. And just to share a little bit about DeSo, because DeSo is what started to inspire me and I'm not sure that all of you who are here, especially from the space side, know about DeSo. So DeSo is decentralized social platform. That is a new type of social platform, which first of all allows anybody to monetize their content and their social engagement. So doing the same stuff that you're doing on Facebook, on Instagram, or whatever your platform is, you can do the same, but you're getting monetized. And then another amazing thing is that anybody can get involved and become an NFT artist. As long as you have a device and connection to internet, you can be part of that. And we see with this program specifically, we have artists from all over the world joining, and it has been absolutely amazing. And DeSo allows this, low barrier of entry, and Chase and Rudy allowed us to be part of this absolutely amazing, out of this world, literally experience. And I'm extremely happy to be part of that. And I know a lot of people in crypto community are always asking, when moon? That's one of the standard phrases. And we are literally taking first steps in getting to the moon. And right now we're sending our NFTs, our digital art into space, but I'm truly hoping that with development of technology that we will be able to actually go to space. And the title that Chase gave me is the Space Empress, which I'm very honored to have. Thank you, Chase. I'm really, really hoping that one day we will be able to go to space and to start a colony on Mars. And Rudy, I know you mentioned that you think that you will not be able to live to go to space, but I promise to you that if I go, and I'm gonna work hard to make sure that it actually happens in my lifetime, then I will make sure that I'm also going in your honor as well, because you also were part of that helped me.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And just being here and having the honor of meeting the amazing people and astronauts who went, like Ron and Sian Proctor. It's such an honor being in the same space with such heroes, such amazing people, and it's absolutely inspiring being able to be part of that community. And I'm hoping that maybe, you know, you from your space community will start coming to DISO community and meet some of us, and maybe even join our amazing platform. I can promise you, you'll probably like it because all the people are there pretty awesome. And as for the art that I'm sending, of course, the Space Empress piece that has been a collaboration with Extinct, who is right now in the chat, who had no idea he was collaborating on a space piece like that would go to space. I just came onto the call and I told a few people that I want to do a collab, and he started doing it, and it was amazing. And then when it was selected to go to space, I told him, and he was like very, very happy because he had no idea that this was happening, and now his art is going to space. And then, of course, I'm sending nesting dolls. So my name Matryoshka in Russian means a nesting doll, and this is the doll inside the doll. And because I cannot go myself, I'm sending this in hope that one day all the future generations of nesting dolls of Matryoshka will be living in space. And one of them is, of course, with DISO logo, because majority of us from here, artists, are from DISO, and we absolutely love this platform. And then another one says love, because I truly believe that love will conquer the world. And this is the thing that works so much better than some other things that we have in place right now. And that's why I wanted aliens to come across that as well. And then I'm sending an NFT of Jesus, because, you know, he's up there, whatever you call him, the universe, God, Jesus, but I don't think anybody ever sent an NFT of him into space yet. So I think that would be really, really cool as well. And then a couple of other things. And just yesterday, I received a physical item of one of my NFTs I'm sending. Oh, I'm not sure if you can see it. Hold on, let me turn off the blur part on my screen so that you can actually see it. This is the actual item that I have received from an artist called Maria Lalard, who is from Moscow, Russia. I'm originally from there, but living in LA. And she sent it to me, an actual item, and the NFT of this will go into space, which is also DISO NFT. So to answer your question, sorry, I babbled for way too long, but I'm just so excited to be here. And I'm absolutely inspired. Like I told you, like I started getting up early in the morning from bed, and because that inspires me. And I'm hoping that we will see more missions in the future, and we will have more connections with amazing people, such as people on this call and some other people that had connection with space. And you're inspiring us. So thank you all for doing this and for allowing us to be part of this amazing journey, and join DISO.
Thanks for sharing all that. And just so you all know, we're having an after party kind of to this, because this live stream and everything is going to provoke a lot of questions. So we're just going to be there as speakers trying to answer a lot of the questions, and Matryoshka is going to host that. So, you know, we'll get around to interacting with more people. But I'd also like to early on also, who's been a big part of this is Gabriel, and has GD galleries, and basically what he does is, which is really cool, he can render any gallery by just using the devices he has of any room. So he tried to basically reenact like a space atmosphere to actually put the items that are NFTs in the gallery. So I'm going to let him describe that a bit, but he did an amazing job. So yeah, my question for Gabriel is definitely, what made you jump in so early? Because this was like the first call when he came aboard. So.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I mean, like, wow, like today is like an amazing day for everyone here. I'm so honored and glad to be part of this idea. And I mean, like, wow, like I'm speechless. I mean, I love aliens. So since I saw like this opportunity, I was like, I think this is the closest that I can get to space and aliens through my NFT. And I really wanted to like create something unique to showcase like all this art and all the effort and passion that artists and everyone in this call and seeing on the live on YouTube and the Discord chat, like all that effort and passion they they threw like in this art and sending all this to the space and having this dream come true in this way, for me is like just amazing. So going back to the gallery, what I'm doing is like I'm turning physical spaces into 3D virtual galleries that now people can walk inside and have a more immersive experience and enjoying the art. And what a way to create a gallery that I need to give like a huge shout out to the set designer, because I'm from Toronto. So I got this girl that she's a set designer. So she took like 3 days, like working like hard, putting like turning all that empty space into a space tent kind of like concept to turn that into a 3D virtual gallery. So for me, that's something that it doesn't have like, I mean, like price. It's just like working together and putting like together the vision to turn this into reality and build this gallery that now we can use to showcase all those NFTs that are going to space. It's like, wow. So yeah, I just can say like, thank you so much, like Chase and Rudy and everyone in this call for giving us the opportunity to be part of this project, to be really early in this kind of like ideas and to bring together the space community, the diesel community that I'm really proud to be OG, if we can say that, from that community. And yeah, again, like I think this is just the beginning to combine and bring together the space community, the NFT community, the crypto community, and of course, like amazing and unique artists and people from all around the world.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And I think we appreciate your contributions and doing all this work for everybody's just done it for free. Like it's not been a money thing, it's just been a passion thing. So we have one more. I'm not sure how we're doing on timing with Mission Control, but I'll kick it to Ollie B real quick and highlight that he basically set up the Discord, which is not it's a place where we can all chat, but he also has commands like you can type in and it'll pop up where the ISS is at any given moment. Like there's just so many cool features and that he's put into this. So yeah, I definitely want to let him elaborate on that and his contributions. So yeah,
thanks, Chase.
Yeah, what inspired you to jump in? That's the question.
Oh, mate. Well, first of all, I just want to say what an incredible bunch of people on this call. I'm here with my son, whose name is Leith, and he's very excited by this whole thing as well. Hello. Everyone here has got a sparkle in their eye. Have you noticed that? There's nothing more aspirational, I don't think, than space and adventuring and journeying. That's what made me excited to jump in and help. I create art with AI from OpenAI, sci-fi art called Otherware. And what I do with that is I produce loads of images from AI based on prompts. And then I keep just the ones that give me sort of visions of space and a sense of awe. And that sense of awe is the same thing that made me jump in here, but it's even more real because touching space in any way for real is next level. So yeah, doing the Discord was a pleasure, Chase. I just wanted to help create the community around this because this group of people is really special, and what I've seen on the call today, everyone involved here is very aligned. So just wanted to support that.
Great, thanks, Ollie B, and thanks for everything. So thanks for. I would assume we have a Mission Control update, but
what we have, Chase, actually, there's one person who's really needs to be thanked. You're thanking all the team. You've got an amazing team, but you yourself have been central. It's pivotal. You've helped make this happen. So I want to thank you personally, Chase, for bringing this all together. It just wouldn't have happened without you. And there's another person who's we'd like to rejoin us as we bring this transmission and this mission stream to a close. I would like Rudy to come back in and join us, so the three of us can sort of give it a bit of a wrap and say the final thank yous and bring the mission transmission to closure. So we could get, is Rudy still there?
Yeah. Hey, Bob, let me say one quick thing before I forget. Michelle Collins is not on the call, but she's just worked as hard as, just pivoted her life to work 60, 70 hours to get everything together in. I'd be like doing a disservice to the mission if I didn't mention somebody that worked that hard on it. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Michelle, all of us have become very endeared to Michelle, who's worked so hard to make this all happen in the background. So thank you for bringing that up. Is Rudy still with us?
Yes, I am.
Rudy, awesome. So we have Rudy, I think, and we have Chase and myself. Guys, you had the vision to come in as the very first investors in Artemis Music Entertainment. Thank you so much for that. And that led to where we are today, and a lot of momentum with other partners we'll be talking about that are going to make future missions so possible, so we can share more of this with more of the world. So Rudy, I just wanted to give you the mic just for maybe 30 seconds or so, just to say what this, you've described so well what Crypto Crew 1 was about, what this is about, and how has your experience been today, and how would you like us to go forward?
So, you know what, rather than do that, I'm going to take my 30 seconds to say, Bob, we are early stage investors. We take risks on people, not companies. And you are a gem, and you are an outlier, and you make a lot of dreams come true. So I want to take my 30 seconds to just honor you rather than anything else I do, because I invest in people like you, and it's been an amazing ride. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rudy, for that. And Chase, you know, that really touched me. Thank you very much, Rudy. And you're touching a lot of people with your comments. And we have a lot of people coming in and realizing this is really a thing that we can really do. We're achieving a vision of spreading the experience of space across the world and with so many people. Chase, 30 seconds, and then I would like to have my 30 seconds to thank everybody, and then we'll all call it to the mission to a close. Okay.
Great. Well, since Rudy gave Bob such a gracious thank you, I want to ditto what he said, but also save some of my time to just thank everybody, because it became a reality because everybody picked up, they saw what wasn't going on. You didn't even have to ask them. They were like, can I do this? And it was just, made it very simple. And from my end, I'd like to dedicate my efforts to my son, Jerry Steely. He's inspired me as a father, and I kind of thought of that when I saw Ollie B's son. And you know, what do you wake up out of bed for? And you know, for me, it's family and belonging. And so, you know, my only question is like, do the NFTs ever have to come down, or can they just stay up there? Like,
well, they're traveling forever. They're going to the stars. They're traveling forever. Right?
Yeah, that's a great thought to have. Is they're continuously traveling. So that's great. So that's what I would like to say. So thank you.
And thank you very much. So there's a thank you I'd like to give, because there's an entire team behind this production who's been working so hard over the last, well, for a long time now, but particularly in the last couple of days, and particularly the last 24 hours. I would really love to give a huge shout out to Subtractive, to Kyle and Ryan and the entire team there that have brought their skills, that have helped make space cool again. I mean, they do the SpaceX webcasts and they do the Yuri's nights, and they are so passionately dedicated to creating an experience for people in space. And it's just such a privilege for Artemis Music Entertainment to be partnered with Subtractive, bringing these experiences. We've tried a lot of new things today for the first time. Our friend Kyle is in the background directing us, and there's text, and there's a lot going on just to keep this together. So Kyle, Brian, the entire team at Subtractive, thank you so much for helping us make this mission experience global, exciting, meaningful, purposeful, and to reach some of the vision that we have with Artemis Music to bring space to the people. Space is for everybody. And I think we proved today that you don't have to be just a special person on planet Earth. You can be anybody on planet Earth and have the thrill of the experience of space. So with that, I'd like to bring the mission stream to a close. Thank everybody who's watching, who's joined us here today for joining us. Congratulations to all of the participants who have sent their artwork to space that's still up there orbiting the Earth. Congratulations to all the teams. Thank you so much to everybody, and we'll call it a day and a mission success. Thank you very much, everyone.